Home remedies for yeast infection. Yeast infections affect millions of women every year. A yeast infection is not a serious medical threat, but it can be very irritating to the women suffering through it. There are preventative steps a woman can take as well as ways to deal with a yeast infection after a doctor has diagnosed it. Read on to learn more. If you frequent pools or saunas, always remove your wet clothes quickly. Damp clothing allows yeast to grow. After removing your wet clothing, you should dry yourself completely before putting on your dry clothes. Avoid wearing any clothes that contain irritating or synthetic fibers, as it can be what leads to yeast infections. The infection occurs when clothing is moist or wet, thus providing the perfect thriving environment for the yeast fungus. Consider wearing clothes made from real cotton, as it gives your body room to breathe. Choose natural fabrics when buying your undergarments. Synthetic fabrics like nylon retain moisture and can become a moist breeding ground for yeast. Natural fabrics like cotton or silk, on the other hand, absorb moisture. They will keep your skin dry and provide an environment that prevents yeast from growing. If a routine course of antibiotics almost always leads to a yeast infection for you, ask for a prescription for diflucan at the same time. This prescription antifungal medication can prevent the overgrowth of yeast that often occurs when the bacteria in your system are wiped out. You can also eat extra yogurt while taking antibiotics. Once you have consulted with a medical professional, you can use the tips and advice found here to help deal with a yeast infection. If you have never suffered a yeast infection, you can prevent one from developing by following the preventative advice here. A yeast infection doesn't have to be a major life annoyance. Learn more. Click the link below.